It's election day here in Mississippi, and a nonpartisan Mississippi nonprofit organization wants to make sure folks who want to vote can get to the polls. This morning, we have a live interview with Sabir Abdul-Haqq with the Mississippi Move organization. The group will provide voters in several counties with free rides to the polls for today's congressional primary elections. Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us so early.
Good morning. Good morning. It's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, getting folks out here ready to vote.
That's
Getting our
right.
dispatches going.
Yeah, and polls have already opened, and you were just
Right.
telling me that y'all are already busy.
Yes, that's correct. Correct. We're up here conveying and communicating with our drivers that we have. We got some volunteers that are helping get folks out to vote across the state. We've got a lot of folks here in Holmes County, Madison, Rankin, Hines, and Forest County for right now. So,
Okay.
but yeah.
So why does your organization want to help people get to the polls today to vote?
Right, right. So we want to make sure that folks have as few obstacles as possible to get involved with the civic process. We want folks to be able to say, a lot of folks say, "Oh my God, my car just went down," or we've got folks that just can't, drive for whatever reason, and they say, "Look, I just really want to get out and vote." Oh, and in the past, folks may say, "I can't do it," and then that's one less vote. No
Yeah.
matter who you're voting for, no matter your party. We just want folks to be able to get out and get to vote. And so that's one of the things Move has been doing. Really, we've been doing it probably a little bit over the last decade, but we've really been pushing stronger for over the last 6 to 8 years, saying like, look, we can keep it up, we can help you do this. So it's been a blessing.
And I think one story that we've been following, at least here in North Mississippi, shows how important it is to vote. The city of Fulton recently had a vote on a tourism tax, and it failed by only 2 votes. So it can come very close. Now, what
Very
kind of
close.
people often need rides to the polls to vote?
So we do cover a lot of like college towns, like basically a lot of us college graduates.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
from Hattiesburg myself, but I'm stationed here in Central Mississippi. But a lot of times we've had everybody from college kids that may not have a vehicle. We've had college kids, we've had the elderly sometimes who or sometimes disabled that don't have access to public transportation or don't have the ready access to be able to get done what they want to have done and be able to get in, go ahead and vote and keep moving. And it's always a lot, and one thing we hear our drivers, I've been a driver before, and I'll drive out and you're having conversations with folks and they're telling you about their past, they're telling you about their history or the relief that they feel saying like, man, I'm able to vote. I'm so glad. I really thought I wasn't gonna be able to do it. And that's young and old. People are saying like, yeah, I'm really thankful that we're able to get out and about. We're glad to help.
And you do seem very enthusiastic about voting and helping people get to the polls. And why is this so important to you personally?
Personally, I'd have to say that the first time I understood anything about the electoral process, I was probably 8 or 9 years old. That was the first time I had ever done anything like a mock election. But also with civil rights leaders like Hollis Watkins Muhammad, he very well known freedom writer and co-founder of SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. So I've learned a lot from folks like him and his colleagues and his class, if you
Yeah.
want to say. And just in terms of understanding the civic process and always wanted to be involved. I followed from him and several other folks, Bob Moses, a lot of like civil rights icons and heavyweights. Met some of these folks a lot, and I'm actually co-founder also of Mississippi Move.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, given with what's happening around our country today, with inflation, with just high prices on many things, I've got to ask, is the price of gas impacting your organization today?
It's not. We don't charge, and that's something I meant to also share. We don't charge for this. It's absolutely free. This is a labor of love. We don't charge for this. But just like you're saying, like the price of gas is always something that's going to be something that's going to weigh heavily on folks' mind if you're doing any kind of ride sharing, any kind of. You think about some of these other, the food ordering apps, or
Yeah.
you've got your ride sharing apps, those costs. I mean, if you've ever ordered one of those companies, you'll notice on the app that the price has gone up a little bit. we understand and commiserate with where they're coming from, but it's just something that we kind of bite the bullet on, and still be able to get out there. And the cost, we never charge anyone for a ride to the polls. So
Okay.
yeah.
And what are some other ways that Mississippi Move is involved in the community?
We also have worked with storm relief efforts. We understand that we want people to be involved in the civic engagement process, but we can't start focusing on that unless folks also are dealing with humanitarian needs too. So
Hmm.
we've done storm relief efforts, we've done Know Your Rights campaigns, we've done Get Out the Votes, making sure that folks go ahead and register. We never, follow for any particular campaign or candidate because we are nonpartisan, but we want folks to get on out and just be a part of the whole civic process. And
Hmm.
we're glad to do it.
Well, Sabir, you have a great organization on your hands. Thank you so much for talking to us so early. I know you have a busy day ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Appreciate it. And take care. Y'all take care. Stay safe.
You too.